Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Will here at Schedulefly. I'm out here walking my dogs on a leisurely stroll on a Saturday morning, and I'm thinking about business. So this is going to be a different type of episode than what we normally have. Normally, of course, we have interviews with successful restaurant owners, hospitality people. We may have some occasional quotes that I might read from one of our books that a restaurant owner said, and why we like that quote, and just some thoughts or comments around that. But today I want to talk about our business and how we are very much like the customers that we serve, and how some of the trends that we see going on are very similar to some of the trends that are going on with our customers, which are independent restaurants. So just a quick background. We've been doing this for 12 years now. Wes and Tyler incorporated the business in, I believe it was either April or May of 2007. I joined a little over a year later. But they had the foresight. I mean, Wes wrote this software a couple years prior to that, the initial version, and showed it to restaurant people. He had written the schedule in a restaurant called the Bridge Tender down in Wilmington, North Carolina, which has been there for decades, and he knew that scheduling was a big pain in the ass. So he's a brilliant software writer, and he wrote a solution for it, and he showed it to Tyler, and Tyler said, this could definitely be a business, and that was sort of how that got started. And the idea was to provide a simple solution to restaurants to resolve their scheduling and communication problems, make things easier, make their life easier. That was it, And the product needed to be simple and clean and easy to use, and the customer service and hospitality, if you will, needed to be fantastic. And that was really that was it. That was the foundation of the business, and it still is to this day. We relate very much to the restaurants that we serve. The restaurants that like Schedulefly, like our software, that like the type of service and support we provide, and like the fact that we really embrace the relationships we have with our customers. They become part of the family, just as independent restaurants, their customers sort of become part of their extended family, the owner's extended family and the staff's extended family. That happens with us too. We form relationships and friendships with our customers. We share their stories on our podcasts and books and videos and stuff like that. And it's a very similar approach that we relate to so well and that we admire so well. That's what independent restaurants do, So you imagine an independent restaurant that doesn't have a massive menu, right? Doesn't have like tons and tons of items on the menu, but rather decides, let's have a few items that we can do really, really well, that are simple, that don't have tons of ingredients. They're good, simple, healthy items that we can feel proud of, that we can be excellent at providing. Okay, so that's very much the approach we have to our software. And we're not going to keep adding, right? So if you're a restaurant and you've got just a few items, you may change those items, of course, seasonal, particularly ones that are, sort of farm to table, and you've got a seasonal approach. Sure, you're going to change the items, but what you're not going to do is start adding pages and pages to your menu. And that will be similar to us. We're not going to, we may change some things around every now and then, make things easier to use, but we're certainly not going to keep adding feature after feature after feature. Not going to happen. It's not what we're about. So we very much relate to that. We also relate to the idea of hospitality, and I mean true hospitality, not a template, not a script, but just having people on the team that first and foremost are good people that want to help other people, that want to show them hospitality, show them a good time, make them feel at home, make them feel warm, make them feel welcome. I mean, that's what great restaurants do, right? Great independent restaurants are, you go there and you feel like you've just entered somebody else's home and you feel at home. It's sort of a sigh of relief, right? You relax and you sigh and you say, this is great. I feel like I'm at my friend's house. And that's exactly what we are trying to provide here at Schedulefly. Every interaction we want to be like that. Do we get it perfect every time? Certainly not. Does any restaurant get it perfect every time? No. But like any great restaurant, we're aware, we're intentional, and it matters deeply to us that those interactions are warm and hospitable, that the service is quick and reliable. And these things are so critically important to us as they are to the customers we serve. And the last thing is where I find a lot of similarities are, again, an independent restaurant, a good restaurant, a local neighborhood restaurant, small group of restaurants, oftentimes they're not oftentimes, the good ones, every time. They're community centered, they're community focused, they do things in their community, they host events for their community, they give back to their community, and they're trying to do things that are meaningful, not just to bring in more business, although that's certainly a byproduct, but because they care about the people they serve. It matters to them. They build relationships with those people. They know their birthdays, they know their wedding anniversaries, they form friendships with them. They build strong bonds with them. And that's certainly what we're trying to do here. They host events. For instance, Joe's Real Barbecue in Gilbert, Arizona. Wonderful thing they've been doing for years and years now. Many, many years. They've had a one day a year where they give away free meals. All day long, if you go in there, you get one free meal, and nobody pays that day. And they have a line around the door, around the block every year. The media covers it, people know about it, and it gets bigger and bigger every year. It costs them more and more every year. There's certainly not a direct return, right? They can't say, well, for this dollar, we got this in return. No, but they know if that's a great thing for their brand, it's a great thing for their business. It builds a lot of awareness. It creates a lot of goodwill. It's something unique. It's something different. And, it works. And it's important to them that that's how they spend that money versus, let's say, print ads or online ads or things like that, more traditional type stuff. They're really trying to create a story around their brand or a message around their brand, that resonates within that community, that means something to the people they serve. So very much like what we're trying to do when we write our books or do our films or do our podcast. We really are trying to invest in the community we serve, build relationships with them, do something unique and different. Now, and you think of an independent restaurant and here's what we're seeing right now. In our space, there's lots and lots of competition. Lots of competition. When we started, it was like the Wild West. It was basically us and one other big company, and they were mainly serving chains, and we were focused on independent restaurants. Now there's gosh knows how many businesses do, just employee scheduling in general, but certainly a lot that are just restaurant focused. Now, imagine a town where you're an independent restaurant, you're a really well-known independent restaurant, you have a great brand, you've been doing really well, and then all of a sudden, a lot of well-funded chains come into your town, and you start seeing that there's X number of people, and there used to be, let's say, your restaurant, your independent restaurant, and then this big other chain. And, the right people would go to the right place, right? The people that wanted what they had at the chain, sort of template service and cheap prices due to scale and all that kind of stuff, huge menu, well, they would go there. And the people that really appreciated what you're doing, that liked your story, that liked your simple, great food, your clean, healthy, good food, local food, and your great hospitality, and the way you conduct yourself in the community, well, they'd come to your restaurant. Well, now there's 10 other chains, and they're in that town now, and they all are competing for the same customers with you. And so you see that, now you've got to, what do you do? Do you change the way you do business, or do you keep doing what you're doing, keep your food excellent and healthy and good, and your menu simple, and your hospitality fantastic, and invest into your community and do things that are unique and creative and fun, and wait for everything to settle in to where people start to realize, all these other chains, they're all alike, and that now they're kind of aggressive. They're trying to sell me something constantly. That the service is not real good because why? Well, because their investors are demanding that they grow, and so they're really focused on other towns now, and they're not as focused on this town, and things just aren't as, they're just not as hospitable and warm as when we go to this independent restaurant. And so what happens to you? Well, you're still doing your thing, and as people start to realize that, and as your competitors make bigger and bigger menus and do less and less good a job of service, and people start to realize that all the hype and hoopla about what they're doing, it doesn't really add up to much. Well, what do? They start coming back to you, right? We believe that that's the case in our space right now, and we've done things a certain way for many years, and we continue to, and our business is still just as much fun and enjoyable as it's ever been. We're still, every day, we get new trials and new customers, and we're thankful for that. And we believe that, yes, there are literally tens of millions of dollars and thousands of salespeople every day calling on restaurants, calling on our customers, calling on everybody, emailing them, using partnerships, doing everything they can to get them to use their software. It's all about growth. It's all about investors, you know. And in this sort of restaurant scenario, imagine you own your whole restaurant. You have all the equity in your restaurant. You never raised a dollar. You put your own money into it, bootstrapped it, and grew all these years. While then all of a sudden these well-funded chains that have economies of scale and everything come in. You know, it's certainly a lot to compete with. But having said that, if you do what you keep doing what you're doing and what you're known for and what you love and what you're good at and what you're passionate about and what you care about, that resonates. And it will resonate with your audience. And so we're seeing that now. I've talked to restaurant owners. Well, Jake Wolf, a couple years ago, he's in Raleigh. Raleigh's amazing, amazing culinary scene now. There's so many great restaurants. And Jake was telling me about how, you know, you look at it like this. It's great because Raleigh's becoming more and more known for great restaurants, and more people are going, you know, gosh, they have all these great independent restaurants. So the idea of going to a good independent or a great independent restaurant is just spreading more and more there, and people are going more. The flip side of that is it's just more competition, right? It's, you know, there's more options, there's more great options. So in our situation, a little bit different. We really don't believe there's more great options, particularly for the audience we're serving. But what Jake said is, he said, you know, it's good though because it just keeps us on our toes, it keeps us moving, it keeps us thinking of creative things we can do, and just keeps us focused, and that's a great thing. And you know, the more things we can do to, I mean, Jake's hosting all these great fun creative events and things like that, and they're doing well. He's at Capitol Club 16 in Raleigh. It's an amazing place, and he and his wife Shannon are great people, and that translates, and his audience knows that. And so that's really what we're trying to do here. So thank you for listening to this. This was an interesting conversation, I guess, I just had with my phone as I'm walking around here. But that's what we're about here. We believe that, you know, you that are listening, most likely you're an independent restaurant owner, or you own a group of restaurants, or you work in restaurants, or you want to own restaurants. And my guess is that all of you share that philosophy. You want clean, healthy, great food to serve your customers. You want a simple menu that you can do really, really well. You want your hospitality to be off the charts, as good as possible. You'll never be completely satisfied, but you'll always strive to have wonderful, wonderful hospitality. Every single interaction that your customers have with you. And you care about your community, and you want to do things in your community, invest in your community, host events, and give back to the community. And you want your restaurant to feel like when they interact with you, it's like interacting with a friend. It's like interacting with somebody that they care about, not just as a customer, but on a personal level. It's like interacting with somebody who, as I said, you feel like, you want your customers to feel like when they walk into your establishment, they've just come into their friend's house. And that's really how we feel at ScheduleFly. And so we're going to keep doing what we're doing, and we love it, and we're thankful for it. And thank you that if you use ScheduleFly, thank you. We appreciate you. We love you. If you don't, we hope we get to serve you one day. But either way, thank you for listening to this. We really appreciate the community that we serve. we appreciate the opportunity to serve restaurants, to serve independent restaurants. There's over 7,000 of you out there, and there's over 300,000 people that interact with our software every day, and we hope that it's making life easier, and that when you interact with us, you feel welcome, and that you just like what we're all about, and that you're proud to be a part of our story, as we're proud to be a part of yours. Have a good one, and thanks for listening. More episodes coming soon. See you.